Hi, I'm Ollie Smith. You may remember me from Citywire productions like "Hello Sir, do you know what pension tax relief is?" and Steve Webb's remote-controlled Lamborghini. But today I'd like to share something a bit more personal. In the past few weeks, you may have noticed our efforts to support businesses in the asset management world who are raising awareness about mental health. I'm really pleased to say that this has had a fantastic response. A lot of people have come forward to share their story. I'm even more pleased to say that certain brave individuals have, without any encouragement, gone public on video or in podcasts. Anyone who follows my Twitter feed will have seen me talk a lot about my physical health, but I've always been a bit wary about going into the specifics of my mental health for fear that it would just be a bit of a step too far. So today I'm going to take that step in support of Mental Health Awareness Week and in solidarity with my friends and colleagues. There are a lot of segues and cul-de-sacs to my mental health story. I've always been quite an anxious guy, even as a kid, and people in my life have died too young. As a teenager, I witnessed a very close family member suffer from quite dreadful alcoholism. I've experienced OCD, and at uni I had no idea what I was doing. Perhaps that sounds familiar. But the big one for me was the year 2017, which I took off to recover from Crohn's disease and cancer. I went to live in Germany, ostensibly to make an album and tick a few things off my bucket list. But the truth is that it didn't really work out. All sorts of things had already gone wrong in my life, and it just so happened that running away from it was not the answer. I eventually found myself struggling to communicate my feelings and developing an angry sadness about so many things that had built up over time. I changed. I changed from being just anxious to being hideously and quite catastrophically depressed. Getting out of bed was hard. I had no motivation, and I became suicidal. I flew home after just 6 months. With nowhere really to live and no idea what to do, I moved in with my cousin and his wife and baby, and spent the remainder of the year marvelling at new life and trying to find the answers to the big questions. And that meant going to therapy, again, which I did. I'd always loved doing counselling, but this time it was truly horrendous. Things were a mess for a long time, and it got a lot worse before it got better. Going back to work in 2018 was a saving grace in many ways, and provided me with a safe place to build friendships again and get my confidence back. I've reflected on a lot since then, and most of my conclusions aren't pretty. I still have a lot of work to do. So on Tuesday this week, I went back into therapy. That's hard, and I'm not going to lie, I'm quite scared. But all that is made easier by having permission from my bosses, colleagues and friends to talk about my feelings. We can all do more to make that conversation easier for other people. If this message has resonated with you, then I'm really glad. Please help to keep this initiative going by supporting the people in your workplace and your life more widely, and asking twice if you think that they might not be okay. I often find that a cup of tea or the offer of biscuits makes just the difference you need, and it's the little things that matter. And if you are struggling, remember that there are plenty of ways to get help and plenty of people willing to provide it, but we can all do our bit. Thanks for listening.